This kick can decide it all. The nation holds its breath. Yes,
Hi, welcome back to the podcast. Today we are talking about a 20-year-old defender called Anselmo Garcia MacNulty. Again, another cosmopolitan name. He's born and raised in Spain, in Seville, and he began his career playing with his friends up until he went on trial for Seville side Real Betis, who are, of course, La Liga side, which is the top division in Spain. And he joined them as a 7/maybe 8-year-old. He worked his way through the youth levels at Betis, and then in 2019, as a 16-year-old, moved to Germany with VFL Wolfsburg, who again play in the top division in Germany, the Bundesliga. At Wolfsburg, he played regularly at various youth levels, with their youth level teams, and also trained regularly with the first team. And by all accounts, he was highly thought of. I'm sure Real Betis obviously wanted to keep him as well at Real Betis, but he thought it was a better move for his career to go to Germany. Now, Real Wolfsburg have loaned him out just this beginning of this season. So he signed for second division Dutch team NAC Breda in July. So it's a loan move. Usually loan moves can be touch or go, or for a young player they mightn't get regular football, but it's all about getting experience. But for Breda, for Wolfsburg, and for Garcia MacNulty himself, it's been a dream loan move. Now it is the second division in Holland, but he's played week in, week out. He's starting for Breda, so great experience for a 19-year-old at a good league. And the fact he's getting regular football playing, and Breda aren't doing too bad. They're about mid-table, so yeah, it's great experience for him. So you'd have to say it's a success, and that first team experience as a 19-year-old, he's just turned 20 last month, February. So you'd imagine that next season, it's a season-long loan, so still a few months to go, but barring injury, of course, touch wood, he'll come out of that with 1 year of solid, really quality football under his belt, and he's hit the ground running now, so the only way is up. So you'd imagine with that experience, he'll be there or thereabouts for the Wolfsburg team next season, and hopefully he'll break into that first team, which would be something to have. Irish player, Irish eligible, and he has represented Ireland at youth level, player, a 20-year-old defender, of course he is, playing in the top division in Germany. And again, Wolfsburg, they're 7th in the Bundesliga. So imagine that. Even if he doesn't get into Wolfsburg, maybe he can get a loan move somewhere else and play week in, week out there at a higher level than the second division in Holland. Nothing wrong with the second division in Holland, of course, but you'd have to say he's done so well in the second division in Holland that now, a year later, he will be able to step that up to a top league somewhere. Again, hopefully it is at Wolfsburg. He gets into that team, or he's obviously not afraid again to make good, strong, tough decisions. Real Betis to Wolfsburg, he could have just stayed at Real Betis, but Spanish. It's his local team. He's born in Seville. Real Betis is based in Seville. But no, he went to Germany, so different language, different culture. So, if he thinks there's a better option at Wolfsburg, if he's going to be sitting on the bench next season, he might think, yeah, well, I'll go somewhere else, some other team in Holland where I have a name now, or back in Spain at some team in La Liga maybe on loan, or, whatever. I don't know what his plans are, but, he's definitely made good choices so far, and, he's done really well so far, so, he's on the up, and the world's his oyster at the moment. So on the international front, it was actually him that reached out to the FAI to alert them of his availability to play for Ireland when he was at Real Betis, and he came. He was invited, or he came to a 3-day camp and play for Ireland against Man City, and he qualifies for Ireland through his mother, and he has a Spanish father. Born in Spain, of course, but has been a regular at various youth levels in the Irish setup so far, and he's been with the Irish setup for quite a while now. So he's represented Ireland at under 15s, under 17s, and under 21s level so far. Again, with his experience, you'd imagine under 21s as well will be the next step shortly. But he qualifies again through his ma, who is from Clare, and he isn't just, Irish abroad, listening to stories of Ireland. He regularly came to Ireland every summer when he was younger. He used to come to Ireland, and his mother and her family back in Ireland, his uncles and aunts and cousins and all, spend the summers there. So he's got a strong connection with Ireland, and obviously, if he was to break into the Wolfsburg team, let's say, you'd imagine that that would speed up his chance of being capped for Ireland at senior level. If there's a 20-year-old player, Irish player, playing in the top division in Germany, it's going to turn heads, isn't it? And you'd imagine he'll get into the senior team, and that for Ireland is obviously the best scenario, because then he'd be capped a few times and then locked with Ireland, because of course he does qualify for Spain. His father's Spanish, he grew up there, his Spanish is his first language, so there's going to be a strong pull to represent them too. Now Ireland and Spain, again, no disrespect to Spain, Ireland. Spain are one of the world's best teams. So you imagine if Spain come knocking, even though he's a history with Ireland, his mother and all the years he's played at youth level, if Spain come knocking, we're gonna lose him to Spain. But Spain have such a wealth of players that if he breaks into the Wolfsburg first team next season, which is only about 5 months away, maybe Spain might just miss out on him because it'd be too early for them, or they mightn't call him up quick enough, and then he'll be tied to Ireland at senior level. So if that scenario happens, it's probably the best scenario for Ireland. So the quicker his success now might bode better for Ireland, unless of course he wants to hold out for Spain, and then if it's a long game and he does get to the highest level, which I can't see why he wouldn't. So far he hasn't put a foot wrong, then if it's the long game, he might end up playing for Spain, and with a name like MacNulty, which is his mother's name, Jenny, to have a MacNulty playing for Spain would be great to see, but heartbreaking to see Ireland miss out on a player of that level. Either way, it's been an interesting career so far, spanning 3 different countries at club level, and be interesting to see his next steps in his career, and his career in its entirety as well. He's a great prospect and definitely a player that's has already made it as a professional. So just how high he can get now is the question. But as I said earlier, the world is his oyster as of now. Anyway, thanks for listening, and if you liked the video, send us a like and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. All right, all the best.